You know that feeling, right? That just grind of trying to find new clients, spending hours, maybe days scrolling, sending those emails. Hey, saw your website. And you just get nothing.
Yeah.
It's this constant search,
Yeah.
Especially for agency owners, freelancers, it feels like throwing darts blindfolded.
Oh, absolutely. It's more than frustrating. It's often the biggest roadblock.
Yeah.
And the core issue is businesses do need help. They genuinely have problems they need solved. But that generic outreach, it just doesn't land. It feels impersonal, gets ignored.
Right. Impersonal is the word.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it makes you wonder, what if AI could do more than just like scrape a list of names? What if it could pinpoint specific problems a business has, really understand their situation and then help craft a pitch that actually speaks to that pain point?
Okay, now that's interesting. And that's exactly why we're looking into Aigency Valet today. Because the promise here isn't just another lead tool. It's positioned as this AI automation engine designed specifically to find businesses with problems you can actually see and then help you create outreach that, converts.
Precisely. It's about shifting from cold outreach to something warmer, more solution-focused.
So let's really dig into that. Our goal here is to see if it lives up to that promise.
Yeah.
Can it really change the game for client acquisition? Let's unpack it. So that sinking feeling we mentioned, sending out dozens, maybe hundreds of emails, hoping one lands. It's that volume game, isn't it? Hoping sheer numbers will work.
It is, and honestly, it's often not a sustainable approach. If you look at traditional digital marketing prospecting, so much time gets wasted. You're hitting up businesses that maybe don't need you right now, or worse, your message never even reaches the person who makes the decisions.
Yeah, it gets lost in the shuffle or goes to that general info at inbox.
Exactly. Aigency Valet tries to flip that entirely. The idea is, instead of guessing, it pinpoints businesses with specific demonstrable needs. So your effort is directed. It's focused on real opportunities from the get-go.
Okay, so laser focuses sounds good. But how does it actually do that? You mentioned an AI prospecting engine, called it a digital detective. That paints a picture, but what's happening under the hood?
Right. It's a good analogy. The process is pretty straightforward for the user. You start by telling it your target. So maybe a niche like dentists, and then a location, let's say Denver, Colorado.
Simple enough.
Then the AI takes over. It starts scanning the internet, but it goes beyond just listing businesses. It actually visits their websites, analyzes their online presence, looks at their digital footprint, and, crucially, it's looking for problems, specific, identifiable issues.
And we're not talking about vague stuff, right?
Yeah.
You mentioned it gets specific.
Very specific. This isn't just a quick glance. It digs deeper. For example, it can spot if a website is missing an SSL certificate. You know, the thing that makes the browser show not secure?
Oh, yeah, that definitely scares customers away.
Big time. Or maybe the website design looks ancient, like it hasn't been updated since, 2010. Broken links that lead nowhere. That's another one.
Frustrating for users.
Totally. Or maybe they have zero social media presence. Or a really common one, an unclaimed Google My Business listing.
So they're basically invisible in local map searches.
Pretty much. These are concrete problems, things that directly impact their bottom line.
And finding these problems solves one issue. But what about reaching the right person? Does it help avoid those black hole info at emails?
Yes, that's the next key part. It performs what they call targeted lead extraction. The AI actively searches for direct contact info emails, sometimes phone numbers for the decision makers. So the business owner, maybe the office manager, or a marketing director if it's a larger place.
Gotcha. So the message actually has a chance of being seen by someone who can say yes.
That's the goal. Increase the odds of starting a real conversation.
Okay, so it finds the problem, finds the right contact. How does it bridge that gap to actual outreach? This is where you said it truly shines.
Yeah, this is the really clever bit, I think. It has this automated problem identification and pitching feature. The AI doesn't just hand you a list saying, here are the problems. It actually uses that information to help craft a personalized email.
Personalized how? Like using their name?
More than that. It references the specific problem it found. So using that SSL example, the draft email might say something like, hi, name. I was looking at your website and noticed it doesn't seem to have an SSL certificate installed. That not secure warning browsers show could be costing you potential patients who are hesitant to fill out forms.
Wow, okay. That's very different from your website needs SEO.
Exactly. It immediately shows you've done your homework and you're pointing out a tangible issue. It shifts the tone from salesy to helpful. You're leading with value.
Which has to improve response rates, right? Because you're hitting a real nerve, potentially.
That's the theory, and early results seem to back that up. It makes the conversation about solving their problem, not just selling your service.
And how does the user manage all this? Is the interface complicated?
No, it's actually designed to be pretty simple. There's a core dashboard. It works on a credit system. Typically, 2 credits gets you 1 search, and that search usually returns, say, 30 to maybe over 100 qualified leads, each with those identified problems and contact info.
So you use credits per search campaign.
Right. And importantly, you're still in control. You see the list, you see the suggested emails, but you can review everything, tweak the wording, customize it before anything gets sent. It doesn't just fire off emails without you.
Okay, that control aspect is key. So thinking about this, who is this really built for? Who benefits the most?
Well, several groups jump out, definitely new agency owners, folks just starting out who find client acquisition the hardest part. Existing agencies too, especially if they want to scale their lead gen without just hiring more salespeople or prospectors.
Makes sense. Less overhead.
Yeah. And freelancers, solo marketers, people wearing lots of hats. Automating that initial prospecting frees up so much time. Even side hustlers, maybe someone wanting to offer web design or SEO part-time. This could help them land those first few clients much faster.
So the core benefit, really, is flipping that switch from cold to warm outreach.
That's the heart of it. You're not guessing anymore. You're reaching out specifically because you found a problem you can likely solve. It changes the entire dynamic of that first contact.
And that opens up different ways to actually make money with this, right? The monetization blueprints you mentioned.
Absolutely. The most obvious is direct service offerings. If you do web design, you use it to find businesses with outdated sites. SEO expert. Find ones with bad rankings or no GMB. You pitch your core service, but to a pre-qualified lead.
Okay, straightforward enough. What else?
Then there's lead flipping. This is interesting. You can actually use Aigency Valet just to generate these leads, business name, contact, specific problem identified, and then sell those leads to other agencies.
So you become a lead provider yourself.
Exactly. You don't even need to deliver the service. Just find the opportunities. There's also quick fix services. A lot of these problems, like installing an SSL or claiming a GMB listing, are relatively quick fixes.
Right, things you can maybe do in an hour or 2.
Yeah. You can charge a decent premium for solving that specific urgent problem quickly. And often, that quick win builds trust and leads to bigger projects down the road. Fix their SSL, then they ask about redesigning the site.
Nice foot in the door strategy.
Yeah. And lastly, they include premium website templates and hosting with some packages. So you could offer website and hosting packages, a complete done-for-you solution addressing the very issues the AI found on their old site. It ties it all together.
Okay, lots of angles there. How easy is it to actually, get going? If someone signs up today, what's the process look like?
It's designed to be pretty simple. Really just 4 main steps. 1, define your target. That's your niche and location, restaurants in Chicago, for example. 2, initiate AI training. You click go, basically, and the AI does its research.
How long does that take, roughly?
Depends, but often just, 5-15 minutes for it to scan and analyze. 3, review AI findings. You get the list spec companies, contacts, the specific issues found for each one. And 4, deploy the outreach. Review those AI-suggested emails, customize if needed, and send them out.
Let's make that concrete. You mentioned a beta tester example. Roofers in Miami?
Yes, that was a good one. So the tester put in roofers and Miami FL. The AI ran for about 10 minutes, came back with 73 roofing companies. And one really stood out. Sunshine Roofing Solutions.
Okay, what was wrong with Sunshine Roofing?
The AI flagged several things. No SSL certificate, so not secure. Website looked old, like from 2018. No social media links found. And their Google My Business listing was unclaimed.
A whole list of opportunities.
A checklist, basically. And the AI didn't just list them. It then helped generate that personalized pitch we talked about.
What did it say specifically for Sunshine Roofing?
It was direct. Something like, notice your website is showing not secure due to a missing SSL. This could be turning away customers looking for roofers online. Then it mentioned the old design, the lack of social media, the unclaimed GMB, framing each one as a missed opportunity for leads and revenue.
Very specific, problem-oriented. And did it work? Did Sunshine respond?
They did. Within 24 hours, the owner replied, said something like, yeah, I knew the site needed work, but didn't realize these specific things were hurting us. It led straight into a consultative chat, not a hard sell. focused on solving those identified problems.
That's a pretty compelling outcome. It shows the difference that specific problem-aware outreach can make.
It really does illustrate the core concept.
Okay, so people listening might be thinking, this sounds powerful, but what's the investment? What's the cost to get started?
Right now, during their launch or promotional period, the front-end software is $34.95. That's a one-time payment. And that gets you either the light plan with 50 credits or the pro plan with 100 credits to start doing those searches.
One-time fee, not monthly?
For the front end, yes. Which, considering the time it potentially saves compared to manual prospecting, seems like pretty good value.
Definitely. But you mentioned credits. Are there ways to get past the credit limits for people who want to use this heavily? Optional upgrades?
Yes, there are several optional upgrades. They call them OTOs, or one-time offers, for users who want more power. There's Aigency Valet plus Unlimited. That removes the credit limits completely. Unlimited searches per month.
Okay, that's key for heavy users.
For sure. Then there's Hypersearch mode. This aims to increase the number of leads you get per search, potentially up to 10 times more. So one search might bring back 300 plus prospects instead of 3,100.
Wow, okay. Scaling up the volume.
Mm-hmm. There's also a deep auditor upgrade. This goes beyond the initial problem spotting and does a more comprehensive website analysis, technical SEO issues, site speed, user experience problems.
So that lets you pitch higher value, more complex services.
Exactly. And connected to that, there's rebrandable audit reports. This lets you generate professional-looking PDF audit reports with your agency's logo and branding on them to send to prospects. Adds a real touch of class.
That sounds useful for making a strong impression. And is there like a package deal?
Yeah, they offer an Aigency Valet bundle deal. It includes the front-end software plus all those upgrades for $267 one time. Saves quite a bit compared to buying each OTO separately.
Good to know. And who's behind this? Does the creator have a track record?
The creator is Joshua Zamora. He's actually pretty well known in the internet marketing space, particularly for developing marketing automation software. So yeah, he has experience building these kinds of tools.
And practical things. Is it web-based? Is there a guarantee?
Yep, it's all web-based, nothing to install, runs in your browser. And it comes with a standard 30-day money-back guarantee. Gives you time to try it out.
Okay. And I saw something about bonuses too.
Right, significant launch bonuses. Things like 50-plus premium website templates you can use for clients, free website hosting for a period, an 80% plus response rate sales script. That's a bold claim, but it's included, and a separate tool specifically for finding unclaimed Google My Business listings.
So quite a bit of extra value packed in there, especially at launch.
Definitely seems like they're trying to make the initial offer very attractive.
All right, let's try to put a go on this with an honest assessment. What are the clear strengths of Aigency Valet? Where does it really nail it?
Its biggest strength, hands down, is finding qualified prospects with identified problems. That's huge. Providing the direct contact info is another major, plus saves tons of digging. The automated, personalized email generation gives you a massive head start on outreach. And it seems built to scale, whether you're just starting or running a larger operation. It tackles that initial prospecting bottleneck really effectively.
Okay, sounds pretty positive. But let's flip the coin. Are there any areas for consideration, potential downsides or things people need to be realistic about?
Sure. A few things. First, that credit system on the basic front-end plan. If you plan to use this a lot, you'll likely want that unlimited upgrade, so factor that potential cost in. Second, it's not fully automated magic. It generates the leads and the email drafts, but you still need to send the emails, manage the replies, handle the follow-up, close the deal.
Right, it doesn't replace the salesperson entirely.
Not at all. It gets you the warm introduction. And of course, the quality depends on how well the AI identifies real problems. And crucially, you need the skills and the capacity to actually deliver the services you're pitching once you get a yes.
Good points. It's a powerful tool, but still requires human skill for sales and fulfillment. So how does it stack up against other lead gen tools? How does Aigency Valet outpace competitors?
I think there are three main ways. One, it goes beyond scraping. Many tools just grab names and emails. This one analyzes for problems, which is fundamentally different. Two, the problem-first approach. Because it finds a problem first, you always have a relevant reason to reach out. It's not a cold interruption, it's a potential solution.
Built-in conversation starter.
Exactly. And three, the all-in-one workflow. Finding contacts, researching issues, crafting emails, it brings those steps together in one platform, which streamlines the whole process compared to using, say, 3 separate tools.
Okay, that clarifies its unique position. So, wrapping up our analysis, the core idea of Aigency Valet is really about streamlining that painful client hunt, automating the tedious parts, focusing outreach on actual problems.
Precisely. Making prospecting more systematic and, hopefully, much more effective.
So for the listener, the final question, is this for you?
Well, it's likely a strong fit if you're struggling to find qualified prospects consistently, or if you want to scale up your outreach without just hiring more people, or if you genuinely prefer a consultative sales approach, leading with solving a problem.
And who might not need it?
Maybe if you already have a super reliable client acquisition system that's working great for you, or if your business thrives purely on face-to-face networking and referrals. And critically, if you don't actually have the bandwidth or the skills to deliver the services you'd be pitching, getting leads you can't, service isn't helpful.
Good caveat. The tool finds the door, but you still have to walk through it and deliver.
Absolutely. Human expertise in closing and fulfillment is still essential.
Okay, so here's something to chew on as we finish. As AI like this gets better and better at finding needs and crafting these really personalized pitches, what does that mean for traditional sales? Is that whole concept of the cold call or generic email blast fundamentally changing? Is the future more about this kind of intelligent, automated discovery of problems? And if so, what new skills do marketers, agency owners, freelancers need to hone to really succeed in that kind of landscape? Definitely something interesting to consider, isn't it?